I think that the removal of Crepuscular Circle made this build even better than before, and I'll tell you why. Hello my lovely herd! Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Sings, and in today's video, I want to first thank every sheep for 100 subscribers! That was my year-end goal for 2025, and I hit it with like 3 months left of the year? I can't believe that. I made a community post asking y'all what you would want as a thank you, so thank you so much. Today won't be a long video. Sorry, I recently started a job, so I'm going to be doing shorter videos. Gameplay videos and build videos. I'll be posting more shorts as well. Did you know I make shorts? They're mostly clips from my stream, but also from games that I play. I think they're really funny, so go check them out. I'm going to update y'all on my Pocket Enabler build. I've played a good bit of Stadium on top of Normie Ranked, and both feel really fun. Are y'all enjoying Mercy in this Stadium update? Let me know in the comments. In the last video, walking through how I build during a game, I got asked why attack speed is more important than raw weapon power. The way that I think about it, and the easiest way for me to answer it without knowing the numbers behind it, because I am not a math sheepy, is that attack speed affects how fast you're healing for. If you have your attack speed set at 0, but you're healing at 80 weapon power, it'll still be healing for each second at a time. Now, if you have attack speed and weapon power about even, or attack speed slightly higher, you'll be healing more than once a second, along with your healing being increased. You can physically see how slowly it makes a health bar go up if you have just weapon power, and I've even had my duo commented on it before in earlier rounds. That's what got me thinking about stacking attack speed over weapon power, then moving into having an even 1-to-1 ratio or slightly above. As always, my builds are on stadiumbuilds.io, and I'll have the link for that in the description for you. The share code to this build will also be both there and on the screen. In my previous enabler build, I had it set up with the entire thing being enabling around the whole team with Crepuscular Circle. Sadly, that's been removed. Now you're going to be enabling based around Threads of Fate, which we get here in round 1. If you're against a Freya or anything with high burst damage, think Pharah, Genji, or Reaper, then you're gonna grab Protected Beam first, but to me, these two are interchangeable. You can get them in round 1 or round 3, it doesn't really matter. The items are gonna be mostly the same, getting Compensator and Weapon Grease, but I've gone with getting the new survivability item called Ballistic Buffer. After taking damage beyond 20 meters, gain 50 over health for 3 seconds, and this has a 15-second cooldown. This can be affected by cooldown reduction items later on. For round 2, I'm going to sell off my items like I always do, and then I'm going to still speedrun for Chain Evoker. RIP that armor man, it is such a massive nerf to this item, and they didn't even reduce the cost. Then I'm going to buy Ballistic Buffer again, and then Weapon Grease, and then Compensator in that specific order, because as always, attack speed is better than raw weapon power. In round 3, I keep Chain Evoker, but only if I need it. If it feels like my DPS aren't performing, or if it feels like I need more sustain, I'll sell it. It really only worked with the Chain Beam Valk, but now it's not as potent unless you're pocketing a Pharah, Freya, or Hitscan in this build. It's great for other pocket types, but this build won't be getting the GA reset, so following a Genji around isn't really viable. All that being said, I will be selling these 3 items and grabbing Advanced Nanobiotics and Mid-Air Mobilizer. Advanced Nanobiotics works really well with Mercy because you'll be beam juggling and toggling between damage amp and healing often, but I started messing around with Mid-Air Mobilizer and I fell in love with it. To activate it, you simply have to jump to be considered airborne. Other ways to activate it are using GA, floating, or being active in Valk. I suggest jumping around when you need to activate it because jumping patterns are the easiest for people to track and to hit since they're predictable and lock you into a set animation. Add on Compensator if you have enough cash to get your weapon power up to matching your attack speed. These 3 items are here to stay for a while, so don't sell them unless you absolutely have to. I recommend selling Mid-Air Mobilizer if you have to because of the restrictions it has to activate it. And for round 3, since we got Threads of Fate first, we'll be getting Protective Beam. If you got Protective Beam in round 1, you'll be grabbing Threads of Fate here. Here we're going to be grabbing Icy Coolant simply because it's cheaper than Talent Modification Module. If you can afford Talent Modification Module, get that instead. So I'm going to sell this one. I don't have it listed here, so I'm going to grab it from my weapon tab. It's right there. To make our attack speed slightly ahead, you can add on weapon grease. If you're rolling in cash, you can get even the newly reformed Glass Extra Full. So we'll take off that. Going into here on weapon, Glass Extra Full is down here. I've played around with it and I really didn't mind it. It's a cheap item and the perks it gives is decent enough to grab it if you need that extra 5 attack speed and have the cash. Hey there, little lammy. You're looking a bit lost. Hit that subscribe button so you can become part of a herd. Also, like and comment so we know you're there. Starting from round 5, I'm going to be mentioning optional items because of the cooldown here on Supply Surge, which we're going to be getting for our round 5 power. I'll admit that I was wrong and the 10-second cooldown isn't too oppressive, but it still does feel bad if you press it at the wrong time or you manage to mispress it. Luckily, Supply Surge can be affected by cooldown reduction items. If you'd like to lower its cooldown but not waste a slot in this build, I recommend getting Martian Mender. It's here in the Survival tab right here. It gives you a 10% cooldown reduction and restores 3% of your life every 1 second. Now, 10% takes it from a 10-second cooldown to a 9-second cooldown, but hey, it's better than nothing. We're gonna head back to the builds tab here. The only other changes for this round is swapping out Icy Coolant for Talent Modification Module and buying Aftermarket Firing Pin. If I have enough money, I tend to skip this stage and go straight into buying purple items this round and rearranging my build accordingly. But this round is more of an eco round, similar to round 4. If you get to a round 4 or round 5, it's because you or the enemy team fumbled a little bit and now things are getting funky in the stadium. If there's not enough cash for this, I'll split these buys between round 6 and 7, but I replace Talent Modification Module with Amari's Antidote and Aftermarket Firing Pin with Booster Jets. I know that I preach attack speed over weapon power, but for Mercy in particular, you want to get Amari's Antidote first. In this build, we have enough attack speed to do this, but we lack in weapon power to get Booster Jets without Amari's Antidote. We're going to be keeping Chain Evoker, Advanced Nanobiotics, and Midair Mobilizer. If you have Weapon Grease, go ahead and keep it. If you don't, please do buy it. Now, if you're one of the people who had Martian Mender, you're going to be replacing Weapon Grease with Martian Mender, or just don't buy it and keep your Martian Mender. Final round, round 7. The power will depend on what you want to play with and what you want to get, but I always get Distortion in this build. Lifesteal is really good, and I ask my duo, or those I play in with my group, if they want this in round 5 or round 7. They tend to want it earlier, but for the build, I put it in slot 7 because I like Supply Surge more. For the items, I'm going to be replacing Weapon Grease with Caduceus X. This pairs extremely well with the rest of the powers and build that we have. I also always forget to grab this item per map. It's extremely good on push maps in particular, when you're on cart and need to beam people further away than like the 10 meters that Mercy has. If you have Martian Mender, you won't be getting Caduceus X unless you like the item more and want to replace it. It's all about personal preference at the end of the day. The whole reason I still play this build and repurposed it like this instead of just scrapping it is because the items and powers still pair extremely well together. Threads of Fate, Protective Beam, Distortion, and Supply Surge are all cohesive. It all stems from Threads of Fate itself. Supply Surge's benefits are applied to your Chain Beam's target. Protective Beam's 1 extra line of sight bonus is applied to your Chain Beam's target along with the damage reduction, and Distortion's Lifesteal is applied to the Chain Beam's target. They all go so well together, and all the items work well together with the powers. Most importantly, Chain Evoker, Caduceus X, and Amari's Antidote. All of these apply to your Chain Beam's target. Not only Threads of Fate's target, but also Valkyrie Chain Beam targets. So, don't forget to target someone in the middle of your team to apply multiple Chain Beams at a time with your ultimate. All that being said, there's still so many other builds you can do now that they don't rely heavily on just one power anymore. Battle Mercy, Red's Mercy, Guardian Angel Mercy. There's so many builds out there that I just can't wait to explore. Let me know which one you're making in the comments below. I want to try all of them. Take care of you sheep. Bye!